few things that have been happening lately, and yeah, just wanted to document them. So, some people that I know had recently had car problems, car issues, and things like that, and I was unaware of this, but they ended up being able to go get them a car, it's within the same week. And they called me and they're like, hey, I got a new car, and I didn't have to put a down payment. I didn't have to do traditional things you'd have to do to get a car. So I was like, oh, word? She was like, yeah. They were like, yeah, you just gotta have a decent credit score. I was like, oh, bet. And the reason why I bring that up is because at the beginning of September or mid-September, some way, somehow, my credit score shot up almost 100 points. And I was surprised because earlier this year, I had an injury while working, and I had to quit my job and, didn't really have any money coming in at the time. And so I had to forfeit a lot of my credit cards because I just wasn't able to pay them. And so they all went into collections and stuff like that. And, so I was really surprised when my credit score shot up 100 points, because I'm didn't I just lose all my credit cards or whatever? And so my credit score now is at a really good place, really good. So I was kind of happy about that. And so I was like, well, I got, decent credit right now. Maybe I should try and go get a car. Now, the place where they ended up getting a car, it was at a dealership. Now, the only thing about that is the dealership that they went to, I'm not fond of the car brand or whatever. It's not my favorite brand. And the car that I know that I want and I'm holding out to get is not the same as the dealership or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll go check it out. It can't hurt to check it out. But then I started feeling some type of way about it, because I was like, oh, but if let's say I get a car or get approved, then that means I can't get the car that I really want, because now I have this one. And so, knowing me, I was like, oh, maybe I can get the car and then trade it in later for the car that I really want, But that's just assuming that I get a car that still has some value on it, and then whatever. So I was just trying to figure it all out in my head, whatever. Really shouldn't have did that, but yeah. It wasn't needed by that. I didn't need to do any of that. That was just me trying to figure out, how to get to the car that I actually want. So that was, I was told this on, I want to say a Friday. So today is Tuesday. So this was last Friday. On that same day, Friday, I had an interview at this retail store. And at the interview, I was considering the job because it's not even 15 minutes down the street. It's literally 10 minutes from my house. I was like, oh, that's perfect, because I don't have a vehicle. And I live in the suburbs, so there's a bus, but not where the job goes. And, it's very limited. The job was retail, but it was very limited. It was a store inside a store. So I didn't have to go too much. I didn't have to walk too much, again, referencing my injury. I've been having a lot of inflammation flare-ups. That's partly my injury. And so I didn't want to, I've been trying to manage it lately. And so I didn't want to get a job where I'd have to do a lot and wouldn't be able to perform simply because of my injury. Because it's not technically a disability, and things like that. So yeah. So I had the interview, and to me the interview went really nice. I'm an interviewer. I've been in programs where they teach you how to interview. You review your resume. I did mock interviews before. So I was like, okay, for me, I felt like I did really good on the interview. I didn't think the interview went bad or nothing. He asked me questions, I answered them. I tried to give relevant experience answers. Like I said, I've had training in this kind of stuff, so I'm not nervous or anything. Although this is my first interview since I had to leave my last job for my injury. So there was that, but first back in the action, back in the swing of things, nervousness. But it eventually went away once I realized, oh, I got this, oh, I get it. I was even asking so many questions after the interview, I was good, right? And then that's when the interview tells me, oh, you're the last interviewer. We'll be letting candidates know on Monday, if you got the job or not, because we've already interviewed like 8 people and you're like the last one. So I was like, oh, okay, cool beans. Like, I literally got the interview at the last moment. So, I guess they just squeezed me in because I was like the last person to apply or whatever. And so the weekend goes by. So that was all Friday. The weekend goes by. So on Monday, I was planning on going to the car dealership to see if I could get a car. And then I was going to also supposedly hear back from the job I interviewed for. So I say all this to say that personally, I don't want to work. I would prefer not to work, simply because I feel like when I had my work injury, I didn't get to spend a lot of time recovering, because the insurance company didn't want to pay for any more of my physical therapy. So I didn't get the full 3 months, not even 2 months worth of physical therapy, anything. So I've kind of just been managing my injury, and I prefer to not work and just get back into taking care of myself and excuse me, and getting back into healing and recovering and everything like that, and getting to because it's not just like my injury. The injury has caused like a lot of other health problems. So and I just don't think that I can be back in the workforce like how I used to be. And even though I'm only like very young, mid-20s, I'm like, and then even then I look back on like how I used to work, and it's just like, it was crazy. It's crazy how much and how long I was working, and how I literally, but I didn't have time to like do any of the stuff that I actually wanted to do. I felt like I wasn't making enough. I mean, $16 an hour. In a state where the cost of living is very high, in a city where the cost of living is very high, and I just felt like the things that I wanted to do, like have a car, have a home, have, activities outside of work that, keep you just well-rounded. I didn't have time for any of those things. I barely had time for myself, because I'm the type of person where when I overexert a lot of energy, I need like a day to sleep, to just rest and sleep. And, when the workforce only gives you 2 days off, So, yeah. So, back to Monday, right? So we get to Monday, and my mom's like, I want to go to the dealership first thing in the morning. I don't want to get there late. I don't want to, and I'm like, okay, fine. So we get there. It's like 10 a.m., like 10:15 maybe. And we get there, and the person that my friends and family went to, they didn't get in until 1. So I asked my mother, I'm like, do you want to wait until 1? Like, come back at 1. I personally would have came back at 1, because, I needed to talk to the person that helped out the people that I know, not another salesperson or whatever. And my mom's like, nah, I don't want to come back. I'm like, well, that's it for me, because, I'm not the one driving. So I got to be on somebody else's time. So we go through the whole process, and he's asking me for things, and I'm like, So long story short, I don't get the car. And, some other things happen, but we're not even going to talk about it. It's not important. So I don't get the car. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll come back later when the person who I know of helped the people that I know is in. We'll just spend some time, in the area, and just wait until 1 p.m. But at this time, it was like 11. So, what was that, 2 hours, right? Eventually, it became 1, and I called up there instead of going. Again, I'm on somebody else's time. So I called up there, and I'm like, hey, can I speak to so-and-so? And they're like, oh, they're here, but they're busy. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, oh, you can leave a message for them, and they'll call you back. I'm like, okay, cool. So then after that, me and my mom go home, and then, so about, like, as soon as we get home, it's like almost 3. Or it is 3. It's about 3, or almost 3. So my mom's like, hey, when it gets 3 o'clock, do you want to try to call up there again? And I was like, yeah, sure. But eventually, I didn't call. Because something in me was just like, nah, don't call. Like, you already left a message. Like, if it was meant for you to talk to that person and for you to get a car, they would have called you back, because you did leave a message. You left your name, you left your number, It's not much for me to do. And I don't want to keep calling and pushing, if something isn't for me, Even though I know that if something is for me, I have to claim it for me. But I already knew that it wasn't for me, because that's not even the car brand that I wanted. They didn't even have the car that I wanted. That was my desire, So when 3 o'clock came, I didn't call. Because I was like, nah, don't call. If they call you, cool. But you don't need to call again. I was like, okay, bet. So the wee hours of the night come, and it's like 12 a.m. 12 a.m., right? I get an email from the job that I interviewed for, and I'm like, dang, it's late, right? It's kind of late. I didn't get the job. And I was like so surprised because, you know, I wasn't really surprised though because I realized it's like, I feel like they had already made up their mind on who they wanted to hire, and I was just kind of like the last person, you know, and I guess I didn't sell it. I mean, I have retail experience. I have over I have over 3 years, probably even more than that of retail experience. So, you know, I didn't understand why, but, you know, I wasn't really tripping, like I said, because I was hoping that I was going to get the car and then be able to take myself to work. You know, I just realized that these things that, you know, come up and everything. But yeah, so I didn't get the car and I didn't get the job. But the reason, shut up. Sorry, my dog don't like it when I make loud noises. So then I saw the email and I saw that I didn't get the job, right? And I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm not even supposed to be selling retail stuff. I'm supposed to be buying it. And I just started telling myself that because that's the life that I actually want to live. I don't want to work like that, and especially not in the state that my body is in. You know, not until I fully am recovered. I'm like nowhere near recovery. I feel like back then I was maybe like 50 to 60%, and now I'm like 30. So yeah, I just started like saying like, you know what, it's fine. Like, I'm not even upset that I didn't get it because I know I don't want a job right now. You know, I just applied because I live at home. I live with my mother, and my mother's like, okay, well, you've already been without a job and without income for so long, like, you can't not work forever, or you can't not have money coming in forever, I guess. And I'm telling my mom, like, yeah, I understand that. Like, I'm with you on that, you know, but, and she's like, oh, but do you want to work anywhere? You know, do you want to apply anywhere else? Do you want to apply here? Do you want to apply there? And I'm like, the thing is, for one, only reason why I applied to that job in that specific position is because it was low activity. I would be working by myself, and it was down the street. So, in the event that, you know, I have to get dropped off, it's not far, and I don't have to do that much work. You know, it's simple stuff, but I can do it. You know, I didn't have to go walk around a whole department store. It's like I had one section, little section to myself. I can do that. And then I realized, you know, and so then the next day, my mom, she's gone. She comes home, and so she asked me about the job, and then I tell her, and she was like so shocked, like she was like mouth dropped. She was like, and I was like, yeah. But I wasn't upset, you know, and like I said, that's when she started asking me all these questions. And I'm like, I was telling my mom, like, I was only willing to do that because it was low activity and it was close to the house. Because, like I said, I live in the suburbs, and then that was south of me. So past that, there's nothing else. And now you start getting into rural. I'm suburban, next is rural, okay? So that's like the edge of the suburbs. And so I'm like, you know, not really much over here, and we're a one-car household right now, you know. So if let's say I do get a job somewhere else, you know, now we gotta worry about getting me there and back, and then my mom works, you know, and then on top of that, I didn't get the car. So I'm like, and now in my mind, I'm steady like telling myself, you know, it's okay. Like, I know that's not what I want to do. I know that these are the things, like, me getting these no's are not the end of the world. And also, I know myself, and I'm aware of what I've asked for out of life. You know, I want to recover. I want to go back to physical therapy. You know, I want a car, but the car that I want, you know, and I want income that I don't have to work hard for. I don't have to work a job for, you know, and I can afford to take care of myself and not break my back to do it because my back already broke, okay? I already injured myself. Like, I don't need to, you know, and I don't want to be someone who gets a no and then they jump right back out there trying it all over again. Because and this is where self-awareness comes in. I've done it already. I've done that already, you know. And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, I don't have any income coming in right now. Yes, things can be challenging sometimes, but it's not like this is the first time this has ever happened, you know. And I guess you could say things are in the thick of it, you know. Even living with my mother, her lease is up at the end of the month. So now everybody got to find somewhere to live, you know. But I am making this video to say that I'm still going to persist in the desired reality that I prefer. I'm still going to go to sleep saying, you know, everything's perfect. Everything's working out. Like, and I guess I'm lucky because I have such a nonchalant, lackadaisical way of going about things. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have, like, little spouts of anxiety here and there. But I still be like, no, everything's okay. Everything's going perfectly. I have nothing to worry about. I'm safe. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat. You know, I have people who love me, who care about me. You know, it's not the end of the world. You know, I'm not completely dead broke. You know what I mean? Like, I still have some good things going for me. I have electricity. I have heat. I have somewhere to lay my head. I'm not in an abusive household, you know. I have running water. You know, I have water to drink. I live in a nice area. You know, like I'm saying, it's not the end of the world. And these things I did. So I want to talk about, like, the notion of there's nothing for you to do, but there's always going to be action for you to take. Did I need to do any of those things? No. Did I take the action of doing those things? Yes. Did I care about the outcomes? No. Would they would have been beneficial? Yeah. But is it the end of the world that they're not? No. Like, it's all okay. And just get this straight. Like, there's no job on this earth that can provide the kind of income that I would like. You know, I want to be able to live for the rest of my life and not have to work a job. Like, for real. Like, that's the level I'm at. Like, I want to retire now. It's not for me. And, like, not only do I want to retire, I want to retire my parents. I don't want nobody in my family working because they've had to work their whole lives. And that's what my family has had to do. Majority of them just work. Nobody went to school. Nobody, you know, lived, done stuff, you know, traveled much. No, you know, and I want to be able to do those things. You know, like I said, the type of situation I'm in right now, you can say that it's crunch time, you can say that it's go time, you can say it's down to the wire. It's all of those things. But I still don't feel no sense of urgency. There's still nothing that I need to do. I don't need to run out here and go try to get a job, try to get a car. Because I notice I'm the type of person, when I start doing all that, I run into all kinds of more problems because I'm working from a lack mentality. I'm working from the point of attraction that I don't have anything that I say that I want. You know, instead of already thinking from the point of having it, not from the point of wanting it. And I've done that in the past. I've worked from the point of wanting it. And it didn't get me nowhere. It got me more problems, you know. When I tried last year, this time last year, to get a car, I was going to dealerships every week, ruining my credit, just for them to tell me I don't make enough. You know, so for me, it's like, that's not my way. That's obviously not the way I'm going to get the things that I want. That's, you know, and I have to learn to see a pattern. If I keep doing something and I keep getting told no, that doesn't mean keep doing it. No, it means you need to sit down, chill for a minute, and know that it'll come to you in the best way possible. Know that it will come to you easiest way possible. You ain't gotta go break your hips and back and no, you don't have to do any of that. Yeah, I'm home all day, but guess what? I have fun. I'm chilling. I manage my pain. I ain't got nobody breathing down my neck telling me I gotta go do X, Y, and Z, only giving me a 15-minute lunch. No, I eat whenever I want, when I want. I get to go outside. I get to spend time with my pets, with my dogs. You know, I get to rest when I need it. If my head gets to hurting, I get migraines, and my back hurts, and my spine hurts, I get to go lay down. I get to take my medicine, and I get to go lay down. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. I appreciate the leisure qualities I have in my life right now. Because there are people who... So, yeah. So, I'm chilling. I'm making these videos because I want to be able to document, you know, everything. Today is October 1st. And at the end of this month, the lease is up. And before that, I promise that I'm going to have everything I need. I promise. I'm going to have the car. I'm going to be moving into my new crib by the water because I want to live near water. Doesn't necessarily have to be the ocean because I don't want to deal with all these tsunamis and hurricanes. But somewhere where I can feel that ionizing energy that water has. And I get to go swimming when I want to. And I get to look out over the water. I don't even have to live really close, but in enough proximity where I can walk or drive, you know, and have money, more than enough money to live for a really long time, and I don't have to worry about nothing. Like, what I mean, I'm taken care of, my family's taken care of, like, everybody's good. I want that kind of money, okay? You know, I don't care how it comes. I don't care when it comes. It could come after our lease is up. I don't care. All I know is that I've lived this long, safe and sound, not unharmed, untouched, you know, doing very well. I'm okay. Everything's okay. Everything's going to plan. I want other people to see that. I guess that's why I'm making this video. I want other people to see that. It's okay. Just chill. Like, literally, Every time I close my eyes or I lay down or I get quiet, I'll just be like, everything's fine. I have what I need. I have everything that I want. I have everything that I need. I'm good. I'm good. I ain't gotta go out here and knock over no liquor store. I ain't gotta go rob nobody. I ain't gotta go steal no cars. I am okay. Doing just fine, okay? So yeah, you know, I know something gonna happen for me. Something go shake for me, okay? Just mark the day. Mark the day. Something go shake for me, okay? And it's gonna be everything. Your desires, everything you've ever wanted in life already exists. Creation is finished. Everything exists. Non-existence is not a thing. You cannot not exist, okay? So that means if you want something, it's out there. Even like when it comes to all the things I want, I deleted all the car searching apps off my phone. I deleted all the home rental apps off my phone. I deleted all the job apps, Indeed, LinkedIn. I deleted all those off my phone because I don't need to go look for that. I don't need to go find that. Don't need to do anything. So yeah, and I want people to see things can happen so fast. And that's what I keep telling my mom. Like, things can happen and change so fast. So fast. And negative emotions don't matter. Because I could be here being like, why doesn't things happen for me? I could be in here full of anxiety, full of frustration, full of, like, anger, and it would still happen for me. So instead of doing all of that, I'm just going to be like, you know what, now I'm good. It's going to happen. It's going to happen for me. It has to happen for me. Because anything that exists has to appear. It has to materialize. Okay? So when you say you want something, it already exists. But when you claim it, when you say that it's real, it has to become real. When you like, for example, the type of car I want, they don't even make them no more. They stopped making them a couple years ago. So the car I want, I know for a fact that if I've said that I want this car, and I mean, love the car. I know the color, I know the trim, I know the type of engine, everything. So if I say I want this car, and they don't even make them anymore, and you can't even really find them, that lets me know that because they don't make them no more, that means one of those cars that was made specifically for me. Specifically for me. So that means eventually it's gonna show up. Eventually it's gonna be mine. Even like the type of house I want and where I want to live and the lifestyle and everything, it was made for me. That house was built in that whatever area near to whatever body of water specifically for me. It was created knowing that me would want it. Don't even know where it's at. Don't even know how it looks. I just know that I'm connected to Source and to all that is. And if I am part of all that is, and I am Source and I'm the God of my reality, you know what I mean? And everything comes from within me because I am Source. Then, and if I'm existing and then with everything else that's existing, I'm connected to it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still human. I'm spirit having a human experience. Okay? So, there are times, like even today, where I was like, girl, what's going on? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Like, what are we gonna... Oh my god. And then when my mama came, she just amplified those feelings, you know. She's like, well, what are you gonna do? You know, you cannot work forever, and you gotta get on your feet. You gotta figure out what you want to do. And I'm like, please stop. Kira, no. Like, I was that. That's how I was feeling. But I didn't get mad. You know what I told my mom? I said, Mom, you are asking me questions that at the moment I don't have the answers to. And that's some real shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know. She's like, well, what are you gonna... Mom, you're asking me questions and I don't know the answers. And that's just a polite way of saying, I don't know. It's a polite way of saying, please stop asking me questions and you're causing me to have anxiety about what I was already having anxiety about. So, you know? But I've learned that that's just who my mother is. You know, she's still dealing with... and she's only asking me those questions because those are the questions she asks herself, you know. But we're both learning, you know. Like I tell my mom, you can't spiral like that. You can't get into the habit of what am I gonna do? What's going on? You know, I gotta do this. I gotta move. I need a place to stay. I need, you know, because then it sounds frantic. Like even now, that sounded very frantic, very urgent, very lacking, very not having, very. Oh, I need to figure. You don't need to do anything. You know, a lot of these law of attraction coaches out here are saying, do nothing, get everything. Literally. You don't need to do anything. Just say the word. What scripture is that? I don't know about her. Just say the word. Declare it and decree it as yours. And I've already done that. I do it every day. I do it every day I go to sleep. And you know what happens? I start crying. I did one meditation on my own. Not no YouTube meditation. No, me just getting quiet, getting to the meditative state, seeing my desired reality, and I started crying. And you know what? I started crying in real life, and I started crying in the desired reality. I was crying in both timelines. This timeline and that timeline. Because it was so real. And it was genuine. And that's when I knew that I was there for real, and it's real, and it's not something that I'm imagining. Like, I'm not just being delusional. No, the things that I want are so real. They exist. I saw it. I saw myself in my desired reality with the things that I desire. Plain as day, clear as day. Okay, literally. So, yeah, you just have to claim it. Claim it, decree it, declare it, all that. Do what you need to do to stay calm and stay. And the biggest thing is becoming aware. And I think why a lot of people spiral and have anxiety is because they're just not aware of how they're reacting to what the circumstances that's in front of them. I've learned, because after that meditation, I knew I was just talking to God at that point. Because after that meditation, I was crying because I was so grateful. So during the meditation, I was doing this thing called remember when, but now I have X, Y, and Z. So it's like, oh, remember when X, Y, and Z, but now I have X, Y, and Z, right? So I was doing this in the meditation. And I was doing the remember when, but I was talking about right here, right now. Like the things like the house. I was like, oh, remember when we stayed in this house in this area? Like right now, the house I'm in right now. But I was like, but now I'm in the desired house. With all the stuff, you know. And I was just crying because I was so appreciative. I was so grateful. I mean, I was just crying because I was like, oh, thank you, God. You did it. You got me here. And now I'm here. And it was like, you know, came to the realization, you know. And a lot of people don't do that when they get their desired things or reality. A lot of them, they feel like deja vu, or they feel like, you know, oh, I have the thing I used to want. Remember when I used to want this and now I have it? That. But instead of me waiting till I got to that point, I did it now. Because now is the only moment that matters. Because somewhere, some way, that now moment in the desired reality in another timeline or the same timeline that's playing now, I feel that way for real. You know, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, so I started crying. And then at the end, this is what I mean, like I was talking to God, because God was like, you can let go now. I was like, I started crying. That's what I did. I washed some dishes, and it didn't even take me that long. I went, spent some time with my dogs. Not even just my dog, and my mom has 2 more dogs, so I spent time with all of them. I cleaned up, you know, I just allowed myself to be here. Because maybe tomorrow, next week, next month, I might not even be here. And I don't want, and God's trying to tell me, you don't want to get to that desired reality, and you're constantly looking back at how you did not enjoy the times when you were there, because you were so worried about being here. Now you're here, but you can't even enjoy here, because you're looking back there at the times where you didn't enjoy it, because you were so worried about being here. It's like you want to look, it's like you're driving, but you're constantly looking in the rearview mirror. So are you ever really focused on the road? Are you ever really focused on the journey? Are you ever really paying attention to the journey? No, because you're always, and I used to do that. But it was like body dysmorphia. Like the whole time I was in high school, I read about how fat I was. Then I get to the age I'm now, and I look back, and I'm like, girl, I wasn't even that fat. Like, what was wrong with me? Like, why couldn't I just allow myself to be, to exist as I am, to just chill, to just release that, you know? And now I'm looking back like, I wish I just would have just chilled out, just accepted my body for what it was and let it go. I would have had much more fun. I would have probably done a lot more things because my mind wasn't so cluttered with the thoughts of, oh, I'm not perfect. I'm fat, you know, and then you get to the point of now, like, oh, no, you're actually fat now. No, you weren't fat then, but you're fat now. Like, you want to know, like, because you are not conscious. You're not aware. You're not in the now moment. So, yeah, I just want to say that. So, yeah. So now I'm like, no, I'm going to enjoy the now. Enjoy what's around me. Enjoy this moment because it could change like that. Like, yeah, it could change like that. And also, not it can change. It is changing. It has changed. I'm already there in that desired reality, living my best life, crying in the pool about how grateful I am that I get to cry in the pool. And I got everything I wanted that I said I wanted, and I got it. So I can enjoy this now moment. I can enjoy not working. I can enjoy, like, I don't need to worry about anything. I'm there. I got it. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's a nice place. You know, I got the cars. I got the house. I got the money. I got all of it. Just be ready. Just be right here. Don't worry about no leases. Don't worry about no where you're going to live. Don't worry about it. You've already seen where you were living. Did you not? And I did. Like, you know, the source of me is not lying. I saw it in my own mind. I saw it, and I was so happy that I started crying. Because I knew, and I kept saying, oh, God, you did it. You brought me here. I knew it was going to happen. I knew I was going to be here. I knew I was going to have these things. So chill. Just breathe and calm yourself. And that's why I tell people, you know, like I said, I had to, like how I deleted all those apps on my phone, I also stopped watching certain people on YouTube, or I don't watch them every day. Because I don't need to. I already know. The source of me knows already. All right? You don't need to listen to meditative videos and do, and the reason why I say this is because a lot of meditations, especially when it comes to desired realities, you know what they do, and I know they don't know, and I know they're not doing it to harm people, not in a bad way, but they'll be like, especially desired reality meditations, they'll be like, oh, picture yourself 3 months from now. Oh, picture yourself 6 months from now. Picture yourself 3 years from now, or a year from, no. Because you know what you're doing? You're setting yourself up for failure. Because when you're imagining yourself 6 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, you're putting yourself way too far in the future. And then you get to the 3 and 6 months and the 1 and 2, 3 years from now, and you're not happy about how your life looks. You want to know why? Because you casted your line way too far. Your line needs to be right here. Right here. Not 3 years into the future. Not a year into the future. Not even 3 months. Not even next week. Right here. Right here in the now moment. Imagine yourself in the now moment. That's why my meditation that I did on my own, because I know how it all works, because I done researched, I've been doing this so much for almost 7 years now, because I've been doing it for so long, I know how it works. So when I did my own meditation, and I got to that desired reality scene in my mind, and it was playing, and I was crying in both scenes, yeah, because you're too far out, you're too far gone, and you're so focused on the future, you're not paying attention to the now. You're not appreciating where you are. You're not accepting where you are. And a lot of people are like, I accepted it. No. Because if you accepted it, you still get triggered by what goes on. You still say the same things you used to say. And that's why I tell people, don't say you don't want something, because you're going to get more of that. Like how I'm saying, like, oh, instead of saying I don't want something, you should say, you know what, I would like that. Or I think that's cool. I think that's nice. I think that's great. But I'd prefer X, Y, and Z. You know, you're acknowledging it, but you are also setting your preference. Like, for example, I would have loved to have gotten a car yesterday. But I also would prefer a different car brand. You know, that's me accepting reality. I don't go around saying, I don't want to be here. You know what? I would love to be in the house that I desired. I would love to move out of here, but I prefer to do it when it's the right time. I prefer to do it when it's, you know, it feels good, or something like that, whatever. Just to say I don't want, especially when you talk about the stuff you really don't want, you know, say I don't want $1 million. That's how you do that. Say, you know, I don't want to, I don't want to be a freelancer. I don't want to live in a mansion. I don't want 6 cars and a 7-car garage. You know, I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't want to be a trust fund baby. I don't want to marry a rich man. That's where you say I don't want. You know, like that joke everybody does on social media when they're like, you only attract what you fear. People are like, I fear money. I fear money. Exactly. But they're doing it out of jokes, and it's not what you fear, it's attract what you don't want, because you attract what you are, not what you want. So if I attract what I am and not what I want, then if I say that I don't want something, then you're definitely attracting that exact thing, because whatever you're saying, oh, I don't want this, it doesn't even have to do nothing with the words. It's just your attention and focus is going to saying something that you don't want. So why? Yeah, so that's my little rant. I really just made this moment to confirm my persisting and my law of assumption and all that bull. To basically say I got this, I'm good. Lord knows I didn't want that job or that car, and I didn't get it. So yeah, I'm good. And I guess, well, today's the 1st, so I guess I'll check back in like a week and whatever. But yeah, everything's happening in the now moment. So just appreciate the now moment, you know, and affirm in the now moment. Be like a lot of people on social media, they'll be like, and by the end of the year, I'll have everything I pray for. No, baby, you have it now. And I go under all those posts and I say, you have it now. Don't say by the end of the year, because time is not real. Time is irrelevant. Time is a construct that you create. So if you're saying by the end of the year, and we're 3 months away from the end of the year, you're creating 3 months worth of time to get what you want, instead of just saying, I have it now. That's the difference between people who manifest instantly and people who don't. They're not putting time restraints on anything. I'm saying, no, I got my stuff now. I got it now. I'm not waiting. There's no need for you to wait. There's nothing to wait for if it already exists. It's not like things got to get built. Like, for example, the car I want. They stopped making them a couple of years ago. Years and years ago. So, if the car I want and they stopped making it years and years and years ago, I ain't got to wait for it to get built. It's already built. So, why I got to wait till the end of the year to get it? That doesn't make sense if it already exists. I can have it tomorrow. I can have it now. I can have it in the next 20 minutes. It's already built. It's already done. I don't know why I'm showing y'all my wrist. You know, I do wear watches, but I ain't got one on now. But yeah, it's already here now. It's what you want wants you even more, because it was created for you to experience it. Just like I said earlier, the car that I want is not even being built anymore. They didn't even build none this year. So that means they built one specifically for me. Duh, that makes no other sense. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that makes sense. So why would I say, oh, I can't wait till 3 years from now when I got my... No, why would I even do that? First of all, the car's not even going to have no value 3 years from now. They stopped making them a couple years ago. Like, come on now. Like, no, I want to enjoy it now. Why would you want to... That's like buying ice cream and you're like, oh, I can't wait to enjoy this in the next 6 months. One, like, the ice cream's not even going to be good enough to eat in 3 to 6 months from now. Two, you're probably not even going to want that same flavor anymore. You're probably going to want something else. You're probably going to want an ice cream bar instead of an ice cream cone. Or you're going to probably want Oberweis instead of Cold Stone. You know what I mean? So don't put it too far out. Say you have it now. Declare and decree that you have it now in the now moment, because the now moment is the only thing that matters. The future is forever changing because we're always observing things. We're always putting our focus and attention on things, which completely changes the future. Okay? It changes the future. Okay? Everybody's seen the slit experiment. Everything has seen the particles in the jar experiment. When particles are being observed, they turn into a wave, and then when they're not being observed, they turn back into a particle. The future is always changing when you put your attention. When the observer is observing whatever, you're changing it. So, like, for example, when I had that meditation, I saw everything, my desired reality, down to the T. I changed the future. That's why I was crying so hard. That's why I felt so real, because I hadn't put that much energy and attention and focus on it. You know what I mean? So now, every time I say I got it, I imagine it. I already see it in my mind. I know exactly what I saw. I remember it like it was yesterday, because it's real. I changed the future by doing that. Do it. Anyway, that's my rant. I gotta go. We'll be checking back in. Peace.